Hello everyone, I'm back in the warm, out of the wind. It's Kay from the Antivirus Garden. Okay, I've got a couple of updates for you. First of all, my salad leaves, bright and spicy. This is cut and come again salad mix. Quick growing, under 30 days it says on it. And the idea is you can snip some off and it'll keep growing. So that's speedy. I sowed these about a week ago in my homemade composter, in my homemade propagator, which has got made from the bottom tray is from a tray of mushrooms from the supermarket, and this was a strawberry tray from the supermarket. All I did was stand it on the windowsill, but I realised the light was a bit bright on one side because they were sort of leaning over towards the light. So when I got my packet of tea out, I saved the little foil pack off it, and I've made this sort of little reflective box here, and now they're growing straighter, so that just bounces the light around like if you were going to get a perfect tan, which I never seem to have time to sit down and do. But here we are, they're doing pretty well. These are actually at the first seed leaf stage. They have these tiny little heart-shaped leaves, and most seeds, when they first emerge, they have first the seed leaf, which is kind of what pops out of its seed, and then after that you'll get what's called the true leaf, and that looks different from the seed leaf. So the seed leaf's like it's sort of powerhouse that gets it out and going, and then after that its true leaf will come. So these have got their seed leaves on, and then just coming are the true leaves. Now there's a lot of plants in there. They'll need pricking out, or that means teasing out of the soil and something else done with them, which I'll come back to. You can eat these as microgreens, but I think I want to get a bit more meal from them. But when you have fancy microgreens in expensive restaurants, that's what they're giving you, tiny little seedlings. So that's working okay. So that was a kind of free from the recycling propagator. So we're just going to put that out of the way over here. And right back. Try not to drop it. Now, you may or may not know that I was very pleased with myself because I made this heated propagator out of my underbed storage box from Ikea. So basically I was looking for a shallow box and thinking what could I use, and then I had this inspiration so I dragged it out from under the bed and turfed out all my blankets, and because it's sort of translucent it lets the light in. So some of them are like solid white plastic, might not be quite so good, but this is sort of, you know, opaque. So I thought that works quite well. I also happen to have, from my dad's garage, some proper soil warming cables. So I've actually got these in the bottom of here. And I've got a bed of sand in the bottom, and they're just gently warming like a sort of electric blanket. But you could equally use your blanket box somewhere in a sunny place. You can pop it on the floor near your patio door or something like that. I think you'd find it be quite useful. You have to remember there's no drainage holes in these, so you have to be careful not to turn it into a little mini swamp. So anyway, here we are. I planted my seeds. I was all very pleased with myself, and you may notice now I'm just removing these two pieces of slate off the top, because the day after I planted it up I thought, oh, that's quick, they're already grown, my little seedlings. And then I looked a bit closer and I realised that a mouse had clearly decided to come for its continental holidays in the sandpit, nice and warm here, and had actually eaten my seeds. So that was a good start, wasn't it? I wasn't quite sure what he liked, but I can tell you that Mousy likes courgette and melon and cucumber. I think he's left me one little cucumber and one courgette, obviously missed it. My tomatoes are all right and they've all sprouted. He also ate my sweet corn seeds and some of the beans. So that's quite funny. I think it's funny. I told you it's going to be as much about my disasters as triumphs. Anyway, all was not lost, because if you remember, I did say, don't sow all your seeds at once. Well, if I'd sown everything, I'd have been right fed up, wouldn't I? Because I'd have lost half of them. So, so what I actually have subsequently done is put in some more sweet corn and some more beans. And in actual fact, my beans have already grown. So here we go. I took them out of the propagator. So I've got a nice selection here of my dwarf French beans. And this is the solitary sweet corn plant that Mousy left me after he'd had his nice snack. Now, I've taken them out of the propagator. I'm keeping them still in the protected environment, so windowsill or greenhouse, whatever you've got. The point about the propagator is to get the warmth, to get them to germinate. But once they've germinated, you don't want to be forcing them on with lots of heat underneath. You want, because actually these little tomatoes, they're actually getting a bit leggy, a bit long. You want shorter, stronger plants, and it's the heat that's driving these to make them grow tall. So they need moving out of the heated propagator, and I will sow some more courgette and cucumber. I still think I've got some melon seeds. So all is not lost, but I had to share that with you because I think it's quite funny, really. So these are ready to just to sit on the bench and to grow nice and sturdy. It's got its little seed case on this one. Just like to pull that off there. That's the remains of the seed, and the leaves are there. So these are already looking great. But that's my heated propagator. So we're going to go through a process of getting things started in a propagator and then moving them out onto the bench. It's going to get more and more crowded in here. However, I will have something else to show you, and that is I'm going to do a little bit of a feature about outdoor spaces, outdoor areas where you can harden off your plants. Now, hardening off means a gradual process of acclimatizing them to being outdoors. If you took somebody out of the house and just stood them out in the garden, just like that, on a cool day, they wouldn't like it very much. You know, it's just cold. You need to sort of get used to the cooler weather and the wind and sort of thing. So what we do is we have a sort of halfway house. We take them out of the really warm and flourishing conditions, and during the daytime when it's warm you take them out and then bring them back in again, or you cover them over with something, or you put them into a semi-sheltered environment, and gradually they sort of, it's a bit chilly at first, but they don't mind and they'll get used to it, and then they'll be ready to move from there into planting out in your veg patch or your builder's bag or whatever it is, your window box, whatever it is you're growing in. So have a look at my next video, because I'm going to be talking about cold frame and improvised means of protecting your precious little plants that you've put so much work into growing. But thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon, and I shall cover this up again and put my anti-mouse covers on the holes in my heated propagator. Bye now.